I was told a long time ago by a wealthy person, control everything and own nothing. Wait, what? Why would you want to do that? What's up, guys? It's the Wolf, bringing us more knowledge for y'all. All right, so what did he mean? Now, this wasn't the first time I was given this particular type of information. It's happened countless times. I mean, a lot. So what does it really mean? Well, from a legal perspective, take for instance like a trust. Now, I did make a video on how to do that, and if not, there are people who can definitely help set you up with one. But a trust is a private agreement. Okay, Congress has given us the ability to, I shouldn't say Congress per se, I mean we can do it our own selves. I'm saying they made it official that we have the right to contract with a person, which can be an entity or a corporation or another human natural being, or whatever else. So we can go into any agreement on our own at any point in time. Okay, and it can be binding or revocable or whatever else. So a trust is something private. It's just a private agreement, meaning non-federal. Okay, now you can allow them to have a foot or a toe in your private world if you, depending on how you set your thing up. But in general, we don't need their permission for 99.99999% of things we do. It's just they want to, because that system is providing a service, and so the more services they can provide you, yes, from out of our back pockets. But mind you, the services that they do provide are beneficial to many people, and so once again, we are definitely not against any system out there in the world. We're just providing education. So control everything, own nothing. Why would you want to do that? Well, from a legal, like I said, from a legal standpoint, when you can control something but you don't own it, and they go after you, they can't take it because you control it. You don't own it. They can only try to go after things you own, and especially things you own, or should I say your straw man owns, and that all capitalized name, that nom de guerre, which means war name, Capitis Maximus, your all caps name, your straw man. Okay, we all know that by now. Okay, if you didn't know that, read some books. So when you control something and have it in a trust or an unincorporated association or an FBO, which is a faith-based organization, a 508c1a, you're doing things privately, and you have the right to do that, as long as you set everything up the correct way. If it's something where you might want to let them know. Some things you don't have to let them know. Some things you should let them know for obvious reasons, because you don't want them trying to bark up the wrong tree. You can just put it out there in their jurisdiction, in their know, or on public notice is another way to look at it, that you are operating in the private. So, but yeah, is there a difference between the public and the private? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're public officers. They are operating under the state. They're operating on the federal level, whatever else. Well, we can operate directly in the private. So, yes, it is better to control things and not own things, if at all possible, and move around like that. And because when you're taking their benefits and their privileges, then you are subject to their rules, their laws, their statutes, or codes. Now, it's not to say that anybody's above the law by any means, because once again, we are not sovereign citizens, because there's no such thing, unless people want to self-proclaim themselves to be that. But we are abiding by the Constitution of the United States of America, the Republic, all right, as non-U.S. citizen nationals. Look it up, guys, for those people out there. Oh, you guys think you're this and that. I don't know. But we are allowed to operate in the private. Okay? For instance, like there's cities that are still unincorporated. Okay? Those cities are operating non-federally. That's all it means. Just operating privately. You are a group of people doing what you want to do. Same thing at your house. Your house and stuff like that. Property taxes. They're assuming that you are operating your house commercially, or there's some kind of commercial for-profit activities going on there. But if it's not, then you're in a private. I actually had a, well, I'm not going to say his name, but let's just say I know there's some federal agents out there who are watching these channels and whatever else, and some of them have reached out to me and have told me, and I've actually done work for them, where they were like, yeah, you're telling the truth, because we are operating in the public when we are wearing our badge or doing our thing, and then when we're home, we take our gun off badge or whatever else. We're living in the private at that point in time. So we already know it's a thing. It's just nobody teaches us this, nobody taught us this. I was lucky to have a lot of people who were in the military and certain branches of services. I almost went into it myself. It's one of the reasons why I know a lot about this stuff. And a guy who passed away by the name of Leonard C. Brody, God rest his soul, was the first person who actually put me onto this, because he was pretty high up in the military, and he later on went to lead a Boy Scout troop, which I was in, which I'm an Eagle Scout. And at one particular time, he see me saluting, the flag, and it was the Admiralty flag, and he basically lost his kit and caboodle. Okay. But he did help put me on the path into learning about the difference between the public and the private, and controlling things but not owning them. Because when you take your house, your car, your materials, your assets, whatever else, and if you're going to do this, put your house in one trust and put your other stuff in a separate trust. Okay, keep things separate. Don't put everything in one kit and caboodle where they try to attack it and whatever else. Another thing is you don't want to name your trusts your exact same name, because then if they're going after you and they see that, they're going to say, oh, well, you do own this because your name is on it, so I'm going to attack it. And then eventually they might break your trust and, take your goodies, okay? Like Scarface said, robbing little kids for bags, all right? It's Halloween time, right? Trying to get your goodies. So you don't want to do that. So make sure you keep things separate. Make sure you put a different name other than your specific name on there. And then, so that's one of the ways you guys can operate in the private. The privet. What else can I tell you about that? So I worked for a guy in Las Vegas. This particular company, I won't go into the whole thing, may not want all his information out there, but I was helping him discover people who had their properties in trusts, and they were educational information only. We'll just say that they were, let's say it like this. A particular person was falling on hard times, and they put their house in a trust, and suddenly the bank wasn't able to take the house even through the court because it was no longer in his name, but it was in a trust that he didn't have to tell them who owns it, but that transferring it is a done deal. They can go after him for breaking the agreement, but not the trust. The property has been since moved into somebody else's, into a private jurisdiction. So, take that, Smells Wargo. So that being said, I was helping this particular person learn whose houses and whatever were falling on hard times, because we were providing them with a financial service to help them not be in hard times. But the thing that he showed me was that some of these people had their houses buried in like 15 different trusts deep. What? Yeah, because even if they were to find out because remember, this is private. You don't have to show everybody, hey, this is what I got going on. Look at me. Nope, it's private. Public, private, don't need to mix. And so some of these people had theirs buried so deep that nobody could touch them. Can't touch this. I know it's old, but it's still funny. Man, those pants were baggy. What were we thinking in those days? You know what? I never had a pair of those pants. I always wanted them, but I can definitely say I never had a pair of MC Hammer pants. I could do the dance, though. Anyway, I might do it tonight when I go out. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but anyway, guys, so it's control everything and own nothing. All right, even along with your, we'll just say for people who've gotten a business opened up, your EIN or your ITIN or whatever you have. They're all pretty much the same thing, guys. Just different names for how you're using them, really. But if you have that, that will enable you to move privately. Remember, the social security number is your slave number. It is on the bottom of the totem pole. It is what you are given as a potential enemy, threat. It's a business, but it's a low grade business. Okay, they gave you basically a free trust that acts as the Sesticate trust, but it is on the low end of the totem pole. So on one instance, it's good because it allows access for your discharge when done properly. But at the same time, it has a low standing. So that's why I tell people, keep it. Just don't use it unless you need to, but get you a number like a business or a foreign EIN or whatever. Excuse me, a little dry in here. Something to navigate outside of that to keep yourself in the private. Okay? That's all I got for now, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day. Badwolf is over and out. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate you.